Hi folks, so over the next few videos I'm going to be showing you how to make a whack-a-mole game in Thunkable. Now, it's really not super hard and it's going to give you all of the basics that you really need to be able to make just about anything you want in Thunkable. It's a really powerful app development platform and I hope you guys have some fun with it. Let me show you the one that I've made first to give you a bit of an idea of where we're trying to go with it. This here is what mine looks like. So this is why my whack-a-mole game. You can see I've got 5 holes there. I've got a score and a time label up the top right and left. And I've got a start button here. You can also see that I've got all this stuff grayed out as well. That's something special that I did. I might show you guys how to do it in an extra little thing, but it's not going to be part of the basic tutorial. I just kind of had some fun with it. So let me show you how it works. Up the top here, we can do the preview. And then when I hit start, the timer will start and I'll be able to hit my first mole. There he is. Okay. So you can see that every time I get a mole, the score goes up. And if I miss a mole and click the wrong one, then my score actually goes down as well. Now, it's up to you how mean you want to make it. If you don't want to put in the score going down when they hit the wrong hole, that's totally up to you. But I'm going to show you how to make it mean. Cool. So once the timer ran out, it tells me that it's game over and that I scored 13. And then I can just hit play again. And then we're on again. There's a couple things that I just realized I'm going to need to make sure I add in. Like, I don't think that the score showed that it went back to 0 for a second there, so that's not ideal. I'll have to make sure I do that. So if you watch this, I go play again, and it still says 22, and it only resets when I hit the mole. So I'll have to make sure I change that later. But yeah, cool. So that's what we are hoping to end up with. In this first video, I'm just going to show you how to sort out your display. So I'm going to go back to editing and I'm going to actually take this one away and I'm going to show you from scratch. So I'm just going to start with an absolute fresh project and I'll show you how to get the display set up how you like. So over here, I'm going to go create new app. I'm going to call this whack-a-mole tutorial. And I'm going to use the drag and drop interface. Now, the drag and drop interface is just going to be a lot simpler for this one, so we can actually move our moles wherever we want to, and we can have a lot more creativity through that. So that's going to be really good for us. I'm going to go create. And then it'll open up. Yay. Okay, blank canvas. Now, we get to do whatever we want to on this, which is great. Now, if we go back and think about what we need for this whack-a-mole game, we are going to need our images for where the moles are going to appear. We are going to need our score and our time labels. And later on, we can add in a start and stop button, if like a pause button and things like that if we want to. But I'm just going to show you how to get the core mechanics working first. So we're going to bring on our images. For this, I'm just going to use 3 images. I don't think I need to go through and show you how to make 5. You literally just make 2 more the same way that we do these 3. So I'm going to grab 3 image pieces and pop them there, there, and there. It doesn't matter where we put them. We can always remove them around. And I'm going to get my labels as well. So I'm going to get 1 label and a 2nd label. I personally like to just get all of my things on the screen first and then adjust them to how I like them. Speaking of adjusting things to how I like them, I'm going to move this because it's currently getting in the way of where our properties are. So I'm just going to move it here so I don't get caught out and am clicking on things that you guys can't see. Cool. Now, first thing to do when we're designing it is to work out where we want everything. Now you can plan this out on paper first. It's not a bad idea. Or you can just jump in and start having a go. So I am going to just go with a similar design to before. And it tells you if things are lined up or not, which is handy. And I'm just going to go 1, 2, and 3. Now, I don't think these are completely centered or like spaced out regularly. And that's okay. Try to get it as neat and tidy as you can, but there's really only so much you can do with this. So try to make it look nice. Cool. Now, we're going to provide you guys some images for the moles and the mole holes, and I'm just going to go and make sure they're on my computer for a second. So I'll be back very shortly. Okay, I found them. So, for me, they are here. For you guys, they will be somewhere very obvious on canvas. I'm probably going to try to put, no, I won't be able to do that. I'll make sure they're on canvas. So, here is my mole, and here is my hole. When the mole is not in the hole, it'll just say 3 holes, and then it'll randomly pick one of them to bring the mole up in. So, the way we're going to actually add these to our game is we're going to go into our assets part here. So you've got the designer, you've got data, which we probably won't use. It's very cool, but probably not this time. And then in assets. So you can add in image files or lots of different kinds of files. So you can choose a file by clicking it and going and finding it there, or you can go and drag and drop them onto there. So that now has my mole and my hole in there, which is perfect because now I can go and click on all 3 of my images and I can just go, I want them all to be a hole at the moment. Cool. So that's good. You'll need to save the images onto your computer first, and then you'll be able to upload them into Thunkable. So we've got our 3 mole holes there. That is great. Now, next, we're going to set up these labels so that they are named and that they say score and time. Now, I'm actually going to need to go back and rename these in a second too, so I'll try not to forget. There are 2 different ways you can name them. You can either do it in the hierarchy here on the top left. We call this the hierarchy because that is the order of how everything works. So if I click on these 3 images there, that's all good. And you can see all of them are inside the screen. And I can hide screen 1, and that'll just hide all those things there. Cool. Now, I'm going to rename this one by clicking there, and I'm going to, and I'm going to type in LBL score. And you can see that doesn't change the text. We've changed the name of it, which appears in the background, not the text which appears to the user. So now I'm going to change the text so that it says score, and then I'm going to put a colon, a space, and then 0. Cool. What I'll also do, I'm also going to set the text align for this so that it goes to the center of the label object. And then you can also select the style and make it italic if you want. You can make it bold, and you can give it extra lines if you want to, but that's not really what we'd use this for. Cool. You can set the background color and the color of the text as well. You can also give it a border, which is kind of cool, but I'm not going to in this case. Cool. Now, for the second one, I'm going to show you another way to change the name of the label. You can do it over here as well. You can go rename. You've also got options to duplicate it, so to make a copy of it, or to delete it. Cool. I'm just going to go rename. I'm going to rename it LBL time. So you can see there that I've just given it a shorthand on the top, on the start of the name of it, just so that I remember that this is a label object. So that just makes life a little bit easier when we're coding. Cool. Now let's set the text to be time, colon. I'm going to make it 0. 150 is what it's going to be later, but you guys will be able to adjust that to your own heart as well. Also, you can change the font size. All I'm going to say is that you probably want to make these two exactly the same. So I'm going to, again, go align to center. Because I made the other one italic, I'll make this one too. And I think I made it 500? 600. Okay. 600. Cool. That's great. It's already taking shape. Now, we have to rename the buttons, the images as well. So, I'm going to rename this one to be hole 1. Now, I don't recommend you use spaces when you're naming these objects. Thunkable will let you, but in most other programming languages, it won't. So I just believe that it's good practice to get into the habit of not using spaces when you name things. And I literally just used a space. Okay, now I'm consistent. Consistency is really nice. Last thing we need to do on this design, we need to decide on a background. So there's lots of things we can do here. We can go with a solid background color. Red is probably not the most appealing color. Green is not bad. Green is pretty good. Green is appropriate because it's green grass that the holes are coming up in and we're getting rid of them. Or alternatively, you can go searching the internet for a sprite to use in the background. Now, sprites is just the name that we use when talking about images that we're using for games. It's just a fancy word for it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to search grass sprite and good. Yes, I've got images of grass that are to be used in games. Now there's lots of different kinds. There's this one, which looks fairly realistic and some various different options there. You can go something that's really like cartoon, and I might actually do that. I might go cartoon grass sprite. And that's looking fairly good there. Now, some of these will have a watermark on it. I wouldn't use one with a watermark. They just look kind of sad. Lots of different options there. I actually think I liked one. I think I liked this one. Yeah, I like this one. Cool. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to, best option is to save the image onto your computer. I'm going to save it where I saved my mole and my hole sprites. So I'm just going to call it grass. And then I'll go into my assets. I can drag that in straight from there. And then I can click on my background and say, background picture, grass. I'm not actually super keen on how that's turned out. But, you know, I can go back and change it later. It's also worth taking a look at the picture resize mode options. So maybe stretch will make it look a little better. It does a little. If I go repeat, that's actually fairly good. So some grass textures and sprites will look like, so you can repeat them and they will actually look nice, but not all. Contain doesn't look that great. Cover really stretches it out. Center also not that great. Cool. I'm going to go repeat. I was the happiest with that. Now, it's really important that you can still see the text against the background. Now, there's one really easy way to do this, and that's to set the background color of it to be something neutral, like white. But that looks a little bit gross. So what we can do, we can change the transparency of the background so that you can still see through it a little bit, but it still lets the text pop out a lot easier. So at the moment, I'm using 75 on the background color for these, and you can really see the difference there between the time and the score. So I'm going to do that on the score as well. White background, 75 on the transparency. Okay, so here is my design done. I'm now fully ready to go and program it. That's a great place to leave this for the moment. Have a great day. I'll see you in the next tutorial. And yeah, have fun.